Maverick Approach.
Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome to another episode of Maverick Approach, where you question everything. Today, we have a very special guest. Yes, a very, very special guest. Today, we have Pauly Long. So, how's it going, brother?
What's up, man? I'm doing great. How are you?
Yeah, good, man. Good. I mean, I wanted to bring you on here, and I thought you were a very, very interesting person. You have uh, very interesting content, to say the least. So, I just want to know. I'll jump right into it for the people who don't know you. You got to let us know what's up with like the what is it, cow balls or like bull balls? Like, what is that about? How did you get into that?
Yeah, man. I'm the testicle king. If you search testicle king on Google, it's literally me all over the all over the search page. But
That's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. I went viral on TikTok last year in April 2022, and I posted a video of me eating a whole package of goat shaft and balls raw.
Right.
And I cut into one of the testicles, ate it. I said, this is how you eat testicles, and did it. And it just, it blew up overnight. And that was like the start of my new life, man. So it just took off. I was at 200K followers on TikTok when I posted that video, April 2022, and I'm now at 2 million. So I basically averaged like 100K followers a month for the last 18 months, just insanity. And yeah, I shortly became the testicle king after that, because that was also when Liver King was just at his peak, and everyone was like, oh, we got Liver King, now we got the testicle king. And so the people gave me the name, and I was like, all right, whatever, I'm just rolling with it. So the way it came about was I was actually trying to do some YouTube videos back in 2021 of Indonesian food challenges, because I live in Bali, Indonesia. So it's a very popular thing for like Western people to try the Indonesian cultural foods. So I was doing like food challenges with that. And we had one of our old nannies, she's Balinese. And so the one day I asked her, hey, can you get me, I gave her a list of all these weird foods, and one of the things was goat satay, including the balls. Satay means like grilled. They like grill it on and everything on skewers. And so she couldn't get those. 6 months later, she texts me out of nowhere and goes, hey, I found those goat testicles. Do you still want them? And I wasn't even doing the YouTube anymore. I had already like dropped it. And I was just like, yeah, why not? Right. Like, and so, yeah, it's so weird how like that one little thing just like catapulted so much for me.
Yeah, no, yeah, like you never know where life takes you, because like how I even started this page, it was a funny thing. Like, I know I wanted to do something, right? So
Yeah.
I always have this saying, like, don't get it right, just get it going, because you
Mm-hmm.
never know where life takes you.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, like, I didn't know what I wanted to do at first. And one of my videos hit, and it was like a conspiracy thing. And I've always been into conspiracies and all this other stuff, but I didn't know how to, like, really deliver that or convey that to the audience. So I just kind of, played with the idea of like different things, like relationships, dating, or, sports, or whatever things I'm
Yeah.
interested in. But I did a reaction video to a train crash. Remember that crazy train crash like earlier this year in East Palestine, Ohio, where all that
Yeah.
stuff happened? So I did a
Yeah.
reaction to that. And what happened was that one hit. And I was like, people are really interested in that. So I just kind of leaned into that more.
You just ride the wave, man. As soon as the wave hits, you just
Yeah,
get on the board and ride it.
exactly. So it was kind of like, you just kind of just ride the wave and just see, kind of where life takes you. But that's really interesting though, like how that all came about, because
Yeah.
I would have I would have never thought that that's an actual thing, just eating like animal testicles. I didn't even know you can
Yeah,
eat.
man. I got one in the fridge right now. I could literally crack it open if you want.
We might have to do that at the end of the show. I gotta see
Sure. Stick around.
that.
Stick around.
But does that like so that's actually like healthy, like eating that? Like, is it
Yeah,
good
I
for
feel
you?
awesome, dude. Yeah, I feel great. Yeah, feel awesome when
Really?
I eat really clean, which I'm not doing right now because I just had my second child. So the
Congrats.
the
Congratulations.
takeout app in Bali have been on constant speed dial between me and my wife. We're just ordering food nonstop. We have like no energy to cook. But yeah, when I'm on my normal routine, like pretty much the majority of my diet is like steak, I eat probably 3 to 4 to 5 testicles a week. Um,
Shit.
and a little bit of liver, raw liver as well. And then eggs, bacon, butter, raw dairy, like raw goat milk, unpasteurized goat milk, raw cream, all raw dairy, raw cheese, everything. And then if I just need some extra proteins, I'll either do like some salmon, which I usually eat raw as well, or if I whatever, I get like some chicken or something if I don't have any of that. But that's like it. That's like really all I eat. So when I'm eating like that, including like I said, like 3, 4, 5 testicles, raw bull testicles every week, I feel awesome.
That's insane. So it has a lot of like protein and like, does it have
Oh
like,
yeah.
damn,
Yeah,
that's
you got
crazy.
protein, you got so much active enzymes as well. Not just in raw meat, but especially with raw testicles too. I mean, that's the center of the testosterone for a male
Right.
species, right? So, you're getting the protein, the lean. It's very lean, very, very lean. There's like zero fat. So it's extremely lean protein. It's very easily digestible, like wicked digestible for some reason. Raw meat is at its highest, purest form of digestion. So,
Mhm.
yeah, if you're having
So
digestive gut issues, raw meat is the way to go. But yeah, testicles are awesome, man.
that is true. So I guess like when you do cook meat, a lot of meat has like protein and packed with other things, but when you cook it, you're kind of cooking all that nutrients out of it.
Well, you're cooking the enzymes, right? So enzymes are what produce the digestive juices that our stomach needs to break down food. So
Right.
the more cooked it gets, which is why, like, even if you talk to an expert, a true expert, not some like bullshit, which doctor, right? I'm sure you
Right, right,
can,
right.
I'm sure you know what I'm talking about,
Oh
right?
yeah, oh yeah. We'll get into
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that.
When you talk to like a real expert who knows his shit and real information, not big pharma information or whatever. Well done steak is like one of the biggest no-nos ever. Like no human or anything steak should just never even reach well done. It's so bad for your stomach. Like you might as well go and rip a piece of leather off of a shoe and start chewing on that and try to digest that. Like it's that bad. So not only is it extremely overcooked and hard to break down, but you're also losing all the enzymes. They're gone. The more brown and gray it gets, enzymes are gone, right? So there's like zero digestive enzymes in that piece of meat now to help your stomach and aid your stomach in breaking it down. Also, steak and meat, everything is full of not just macronutrients like proteins, fats, carbs, but it also has micronutrients. So you got like all those beneficial vitamins and minerals, phosphorus, selenium, niacin, iron, copper, like the list goes on. Those are
Right,
like evaporated as soon as you apply heat, because they're micronutrients, they're very delicate.
right,
So you want the most out of your meat, you eat it raw, or maybe you sear it like blue rare, right?
right.
Now you're losing pleasure with that. Pleasure comes from good taste and good flavor, right? So are you eating for just like straight value, or are you eating to enjoy? I do both, because like I do enjoy, who doesn't like a nice steak, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
that's what I was saying. I love steak.
it's
So
delicious, right? You hit that perfect like medium rare to rare, and it's like, oh, it's unbeatable, right? Depending on the
right,
cut.
definitely.
But it's just that it comes down to what do you want out of it. Now, if you eat medium rare, you're fine. Like you're not like killing the steak. But yeah, I always say like if you get to like medium and up, you're losing a lot of it, So
Right. Yeah. So it's kind of like the same concept because I love sushi too. So it's kind of almost the same thing because just thinking about it on first hand, it's kind of like, oh, well, you're eating like raw testicles. Like, what the fuck? Like, but when you're talking about sushi and raw fish, it's the same concept. It's all,
yeah.
tomato, tomato. So like that is true. So now thinking about it, that does make sense for sure.
And with like eggs, man, you cook eggs, dude, a raw egg yolk. Oh, that is a superfood. That is
Right.
a superfood. You can eat it. You can freaking put it in your hair. Not that I can say anything because I have none, but for those that have hair, you can take a raw egg yolk and put it in your hair and it'll make your hair as thick and full as possible. You can eat that and feel amazing. I mean, raw egg yolks are like that's a embryo. Like it's like it's everything, that's
Right.
life right there. So
Right.
when you cook all that, you lose so much nutritional value. So yeah,
Right.
raw meat's awesome. I've done a lot of different raw meats. I've tried like every single organ from like a bowl possible, bunch of goat organs and lamb organs too.
Wait, wait,
I've
wait, wait, wait. Hold on, hold on. You say you ate organs too?
organs. So a testicle.
Organs.
Yeah, testicles and organ, liver's an organ. I've done testicle, liver, heart, brain, kidney, spleen, pancreas. I had an eyeball.
Oh
um,
shit.
yeah, I've done it all, man. So I say some are more beneficial than others, but there is a theory that when one of your organs is lacking, you eat the organ of an animal like a bull, and it supposedly helps. How much information can back that? I'm not sure,
Mhm.
but it makes sense, and it's a very ancient traditional practice that goes back many, 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 many years ago. So
Right.
typically, those are the people that are usually right, over modern day society. Like modern day
Yeah,
society, fucking so
100%. Yeah. When it
so
comes
like I
to
tend to
like,
believe what I hear what I hear about what happened back then rather than what we should do now, because they're
yeah,
telling us, you know, get vaccines for a free pack of fries now. So it's like, I'm
bro,
gonna go with the old school methods rather than the new school.
yo, tell me why that is like the most bizarre thing
Yeah.
like ever.
Yeah,
Hey, we
get
have
that.
this free
Get a
burger
get
for
a
you.
get a free
Like,
french
come get a
fry.
shot. Like, what? Like, think about
Crazy.
that. People are getting bribed with
Uh,
poisonous food
with
already
seed
as it
oil, seed
is.
oil fried potatoes, It's
And it's
crazy.
like, yo, eat this poison and we'll bribe you with these McDonald's fries or whatever else to come get this other poison put into you. It's crazy, man. And
Sanity.
starting on that topic, like starting on conspiracy, like, dude, there's so much stuff out there. And this is why like I love doing this because for one, I feel like a lot of people are waking up. Since 2020, it's been like I don't know, like a mass awakening, right? So like I feel like a lot of people are leaning more into alternative news, truth, and when it comes to like your CNNs and Fox News, like everybody knows that's bullshit and it's all controlled media anyway.
Of course.
So when people go
Not
are
everybody
going,
knows, right? But those who are aware enough know.
yeah, if you're aware, but I mean, all in all, like I feel like a lot more people now are into these types of topics and subjects more than
Growing. It's
before.
expanding, which is good. That's what we want. That's why people like us do it, man, to make more people aware. So it's
Right.
good. Good. We're making a push for sure right
Yeah.
now.
And that's the thing, like how you're doing with like the testicle and all that. At first glance, it's like, what the fuck is this? What's going on? But now you're
Yeah.
like, well, it has nutritional value. It has all this other stuff. The shit you're eating in the Western world is the crazy shit that you're putting into your body.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like it's spinning that whole narrative. And I think that that's important because now you're attracting an audience, which you have a huge audience now, and people are like waking up, like, wait a minute, this stuff
You're
is
nailing
actually
it,
good for
bro.
you.
That's to be honest with you, like, so when this shit popped off last year, it was never my intention to just like, you know, only be the raw meat guy.
Right.
It's cool, and it's definitely like it's cool to educate people on like, look what we are capable of, which I love doing that in any sense, any fashion. Showing people that they can do something that they believe they can't gives me an extreme amount of fulfillment. So just by me simply showing people, hey, look, you can eat raw meat and like totally be fine, right? When everyone's commenting on my TikTok, you're gonna die, you're gonna get sick, blah 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 blah, and I'm like, I'm good, like that gives me fulfillment to educate people on the fact that, look, we can do this. But the whole reason that really drives me, like what really, really drives me and drove me last year to go all in on this shit, I don't really eat a ton of raw meat like I did last year. Last year was insane. I was like, dude, like raw liver, raw testicle, raw brain, like every day. Like it was nuts.
Right.
Because I was just cranking out so much TikTok content to get this going while it was hot.
Right.
And but in the back of my head, my whole drive to do this is if I can show people that they can do this, maybe they'll fucking listen to me about some other shit that actually has real weight to it and real matter to it. Because
Right.
my purpose in this life is to make people aware of what the fuck is going on. And I don't even know what the fuck is going on all the time, but I sure as hell know that I'm not aware of what's going on because they're not telling us everything. And that's what I want to tell people is like, yo, look, step number one, you're being fooled right now, like really, really badly. Okay. So you got to snap out of that shit. Step number two, the people who tell you that they're good and run the world are bad. So it's like, if I can use shock value to get people listening to me and then spread a good message, not just of waking people up to conspiracy shit, but also too, like mental health is a really big passion of mine because I struggled with that for a very long time. I grew up with ADHD, getting prescribed to ADHD pills at 12 years old, man. For 10 fucking years, I was on that shit. Wrecked my body, wrecked my mind. You know, I had social anxiety. I was addicted to marijuana. I used to be heavily dependent on marijuana every single day, man. I could not like even function without it. You know, I was getting blackout drunk every single weekend, waking up in the hospital multiple times throughout my life, getting a DUI, I crashed my car at 120 miles an hour, ran into the back of a car, flipped on it, slid 50 feet, almost died. Like, and I was a mess. I was a fucking mess. So if I can use this shit to help other people going through the same struggles, that's a very, very big passion and fulfillment for me as well. So 100%. Too, last year when all this was happening, I was talking to my grandmother, my Mimi is what I call her. And my Mimi said, you know, she's very, very wise, very, very wise old lady, very, very with it still. And she was like, you know, Jesus used, not to bring religion into this, but just for the sake of the example, so Jesus used shock value to spread his message. He turned water into wine so people would listen to him. Because without that, they didn't care what he was saying. As soon as he did that, they were like, okay, yeah, we're going to listen now. She's like, you're using shock value to preach your word. And I was like, that's fucking gold right there. And it's true, you know? And so it's like now I'm not doing as much of that crazy stuff, but I've also started doing mental health, motivation, inspirational videos, and people love them now. But I feel like if I would have just came right out the gate with that shit back in April 2022, nobody would have listened because I didn't have that presence yet, you know? So it's cool, man, when you can build a platform and then you can actually, you know, gain the respect of the viewers. And then if you have a good message, you can use it to your advantage, which is what I'm doing. So in the back of my mind, like that was really what was driving me to do this. Is like, I'm not doing it now because I understand that if I start trying to speak my word too early, I'm going to lose the momentum. I'm going to lose, you know, they won't care because I'm not doing it yet. So for like an entire year, bro, like I was just like all in on the food and the raw meat and everything. And then this year, I finally started sprinkling in some mindset, motivation, business stuff as well for my other businesses and, you know, things to a little bit of conspiracy here and there, things to kind of okay, wait a second. This guy's like on to something.
That's how you do it. That's how you do it. Like you did it right. You had a plan and it's all about attention, right? So like you have to grab the attention and then anybody can get attention, but it's keeping it is the hard part. It's just like money, right? So anybody can make money, but you have to be able to keep it. That's the golden part about it. So like how you're saying, like now you're going to start spreading a message. You're going to start saying all this and this and that. That's the perfect way to do it. I think that you have to garner that audience first and then execute what you really want to say. So no, that's perfectly well done. I mean, I think that's how a lot of creators and a lot of artists or anybody who's on a platform should, you know, go about it and have that kind of roadmap. So, I mean, even with mine, like my stuff, I didn't know what I was going to do, kind of fell into it and I leaned into it more once it kind of popped off. And now I'm like, okay, well, this is stuff that I'm interested in, but now I see other people are interested in it. Now I'm going all in. So, you know, even like how I saw your video on the Matthew Perry thing and I did a video.
Those blew up, man.
Yeah, that shit was crazy. And that's the thing, like just connecting the dots for people because some people don't see it and they'll be like, oh, this just happened. And then they'll just know what the media tells them.
It was a coinky dink, you know, like
nothing's a coincidence, bro. Nothing's a coincidence. But yeah, so we'll jump into, I want to show you a few videos that I've done and then, you know, get your comments on it because here on the platform, I just do deep dives on certain things and, you know, I just go over it with you guys. So like, I'm going to share my screen. 1 second.
Let that be the first and last time I see you do that, please. Take that off. Take that off immediately.
Oh, here, I'll help you. I'll help you. Take it off. Take it off.
And you guys never ever let my son put a dress on, ever. ever, ever, ever. You understand me? Like ever, like ever.
Yeah.
No problem. No problem.
No worries. We're gonna do that.
First time and last time.
Yeah, first time and last time.
Ever.
It's just like, oh.
My father.
No problem.
Yeah, that's wild.
Ever.
First time and last time, like they know they fucked up.
Yeah, so so think about that. So like, okay, you have kids, right?
Yeah, I got 2 boys, man. And if I found out the teachers are putting dresses on, I'd have the same reaction. I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, what's happening, right? So like,
Right.
and here's the climate of the society we're in right now. They're making it to where this is almost like it's hate speech, or you're not letting the kids be who they are. The kids,
Yeah,
don't
we're
know.
taking away their freedom to express themselves. It's like, no, they're just children who don't know any better, and you're encouraging them to
Right.
to be confused. Like, what the fuck are you
Right.
talking?
And that's why I called it school agenda, because like a lot of people don't know that the schooling system came from Europe, and they indoctrinated people because of war. And a lot of people don't know the school system that we live in today, or that is implemented today, is from a system to control people, because they wanted more soldiers and more docile people to go with their agenda when a war came. So when they're teaching certain things, it is already instilled in their minds when they're growing up. So they brought that whole system to America, and now it's like it's giving it even further, because now it's like, okay, well, what agenda are they pushing now? Because all that is indoctrination, right?
Were they? So you're telling me that Europe did it before John D. Rockefeller did it?
Yes, he got it from them.
So he
So
just,
basically,
he just took
I
it as
forgot
like
the
he
guy's
took an
name.
alley-oop. He just took an
Yeah,
alley and slammed it down, because then he funded the General Education Board back in whatever 1912 or whatever it was, right?
right.
And funded it with what like 180 million, which in today's society is like billions. And his famous quote, "I need a nation full of workers, not a nation full of thinkers."
Exactly. And
So,
that's the thing. So like, he even invested in, like, he took it further. Like, he was like, well, not only am I going to stop there, but now I'm going to fund all the colleges too.
yeah.
So he just kept going with that indoctrination. So that's why even the college system now it is what it is, So it's crazy, because like, even when you go down the line, say you're a college player and you're playing either basketball, football, whatever else, the institution is making millions. But when it comes to the players, they're just now getting paid from the NIL. Before, they weren't getting anything. So it's like, you can see like the lasting effects of that, of how they want to control you, they want to indoctrinate you, they want to throw in their history. That's why it's his story, so it's not anybody else's story. It's his story that he's telling to the kids to grow up and think these certain things, so like, now, like, this whole thing with the dresses and all this other stuff, kids don't know left from right from wrong, blue from green. They're figuring everything out right now. So how can you say, oh, let the kids be who they are? It's like, well, they don't know who they are yet.
Yeah, it's true. And it seems to be a trending thing too, with like these highly liberal parents, like actually wanting their kids to be gay. I've seen videos. I saw a video of a woman holding her baby with a gay pride tank top on, going,
oh, I saw that.
You see that?
Yeah.
Gay, it's a gay baby. It's a gay baby. And then like at the end of the video, she's like, please be gay. Like, what?
Yeah, that's crazy.
What?
It's
That's
crazy.
Just like, it's insanity, man. It's insanity.
And they make it to where, I don't know. It's just it's such a slippery slope.
You got all the other liberals commenting, like backing it up, like, "Ooh, slay, girl, slay, mama," like, "Oh, so cute." It's like, oh my god, it's like dumb dumb rallies stupid and stupid rallies dumb, and they just come together in this big rally, and you can't beat it because you can't beat stupid. You can never win an argument with stupid because they're going to sit there and tell you that 2 + 2 = 5 no matter how fucking clear the facts are, and they're gonna like sociopathically convince themselves that it's true. And so it's like you can't even it's like you might as well convince a loaf of bread what you're trying to speak, you know. I don't know.
It's crazy. And if you look in the comment section, a lot of people were like, yeah, you know, you should let the kid be a kid. It was very divided, right? So like some people were like, no, this is wrong. Other people were like, no, let the kid be a kid. They're just playing dress up. But here's the problem. Playing dress up, even there's still gender role. There's girls who play with dolls and has pink dresses. Boys have trucks and all this other stuff. So I get it, like where they're trying to say, oh, just let them play. But like that was never a thing growing up for me.
It's all new. It's all new age shit that, you know, and they're going to try to convince us that it's, well, we're growing and evolving. And it's like, no, we're not. Actually, to be honest, humanity seems to be getting a lot worse than it used to be. Everyone's fatter. Everyone's more depressed. Tons of people are cutting their dicks and tits off and calling themselves the wrong genders. Like, we're actually going backwards, to be honest. So it's a very big concern when you got kids wearing dresses when they don't even know how to spell their own name yet. And it's like, it is a problem. It's a very problem, and it may seem minuscule. Okay, yeah, they're just playing dress up, whatever, but it's the small things that compound because kids don't know how to process certain things properly. So that one little subconscious thought of that time they wear the dress and got praised for it could end up sticking in their brains neurologically very deep, years and years and years down the road. And then for some neurological pattern that happens that they're not ready for could end up convincing themselves that, well, maybe they're going through a rough time and they need some moral support, and they remembered that time subconsciously where they got praised for wearing a dress. So all of a sudden now they're sick in the head and they're going to start wearing dresses, seeking the approval and the support of others because they're going through a stressful time in life as an adult. And they don't even realize that it stems from that one time that they got on for wearing a dress when they're a kid. And no one thinks long term. Everybody thinks short term, right? Oh, well, just let him be. No, don't fucking let him be. You know, like teach him, guide him. Hey, bud, yeah, no, we're not going to do that. Let's go play in the dirt outside. Let's go do something, you know, like with kids. And this is what I'm learning as a father. I've only been a father for about 1.5 years now. But what I'm learning is, and credit to my wife, she's an amazing mother and an amazing partner, and she's much younger than I am. I'm 31, she's 23, but she's wise beyond her years, and she's just a natural when it comes to this shit. So something that she has taught me is like, instead of, you know, like telling a kid, no, don't do that, or just letting him do it when he shouldn't because you're too tired to try and convince him otherwise, you just get the kid and you put him in front of something else, or you give him something else, or you guide him towards something else, because that's what kids need. They're curious, right? And they don't know any better. So they're constantly going to explore. So if your kid finds a sharp knife on the ground and picks it up, are you going to let him express himself? Fuck no. You're going to take that fucking knife away as soon as possible because you know it's not right. That's not what a kid should have in his hand.
Right.
So the kid naturally, if your kid finds a fucking G-string in his mom's drawer and puts it on, are you going to let him walk around the house in a fucking lingerie G-string?
Right.
It's the same shit as wearing a dress. Same fucking thing. It's a piece of women's clothing, right? And so you're not going to let him do that. But if it's not pushing the border too much, right? Like if a kid had a G-string on in class, they're gonna rip it off, right? They're gonna be like, no, that's inappropriate.
Right.
But then again, it's just a piece of clothing, right? But if the dress isn't like sexual, then it's not gonna get removed because he's just expressing himself. You can't fucking. They're moving the
goalposts. They're moving the goalposts.
There's too much gray area with all these fucking lefters. There's so much gray area, and it's like you can call them out on their bullshit, but they'll always just sit there and have like some bullshit response back as to why it's right. It's stupid, man.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
gotta think with logic. There's too much emotional thinking in this day and age. And that's why America, especially, is in the position that it's in, because it's such an emotional country. People don't use logic at all. And like part of also being a husband. I've been with my wife for 3 years. And I've learned a lot as well as to how to be a better man and how to be a better husband. Men are typically logical thinkers. Women are typically emotional thinkers. Not always, but for the majority, there's a lot more men that think with logic and a lot more women that think with emotion. And that's true, right? It's just numbers. So as the man, I need to take a step back and understand that my wife is a woman. She's emotional, especially she's had 2 kids in less than 2 years. Okay. So her hormones are all over the fucking place. Of course, she's going to be rational and emotional sometimes, you know, I've had to learn that. But my job as the leader is to guide her as well and give her the logical support and education and guidance, you know, give her the emotional, I shouldn't say that, give her the emotional support, but the logical guidance that she needs herself out of whatever emotional funk that she's in. Dude, it's like everything is full circle, you know, we're all children. And so it's like, we're all children at heart. So especially if you're a children at age, if you're a true child at age, you don't know shit, man. You always need guidance, but even adults need guidance. But if adults need guidance, imagine how much kids need, man. Kids are fucking clueless. They're absolutely clueless.
Yeah.
Bro, I've been there when I was a kid too. Like I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I had weird thoughts, man. I had weird intrusive thoughts. And at some point, even back then too, I remember, I kid you not, man, I literally remember like questioning because I saw all this gay shit, like all this gay stuff on TV and gay. And I just remember like thinking them as a kid, like, am I gay? Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I just like,
you just didn't know. You were just confused.
Oh, it's crazy, man.
And that's the thing. I feel like that is the number one thing they want to do is confuse, because once you confuse a generation, they are disarmed to do anything, to uprise. They're confused. There's no defense. Left and right. They don't know whatever is going on. So if they're confused about who they are and what they are, they're confused about policies, laws. They're confused about, you know, making money. They're confused about everything. They're questioning everything on that spectrum, you know, instead of questioning everything, like as far as like, you know, who's really running the country, who's really putting stuff in the water, who's doing all these different things that's controlling everything. But it's like an internal battle instead. They want that kind of confusion because that way you can dominate a society.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you can't even think of it like this, it starts with the fundamentals. So you're talking about questioning everything about the political system and like, yeah, dude, fluoride in the water and all that kind of shit, war, whatever. If you can't even figure out your own fucking gender, like you can't even decide what gender you are, you're not going to be talking about the other shit. And that's great. So if they can knock it out like that, you're swept off the list of people of concern. People of concern are people like us who are questioning the narrative and spreading the word about it, you know? So we're on the list, man. We're on the hit list, you know? But if you can't get your fucking gender right, and you're on the nice list. We're on the naughty list. They're on the nice list. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like to the elites and the bigger people who want us weak, man. It's like, all right, cool, yeah, good. We don't got to worry about them. Of course, you don't. They're fucking stupid as shit. All right, they can't even figure out if they're a boy or a girl. It's like, they're done, man.
And that's the main thing. It's all about confusion. That's the number one agenda. So like
triple, quadruple vaxxed, freaking non-binary unicorn. You're not the fucking problem. You're not a problem, dude. You're probably sitting in a fucking virtual reality set in your living room, living in a fantasy world for 8 hours a day, and you come out, eat nachos, jerk off, and go right back to VR. Like you're not even leaving your house, you know? So those people are. It's like if they can do that from the start, then they're happy. And that's why, man, you know, the more confused, fucked up we are, the easier we are to control. And that's just all it's about, you know, that's all it's about.
It's all
keep in
about
control.
control, man. Yeah,
Divide and
that's the main
conquer.
thing.
You know, why do they divide us, man? They divide us in gender, they divide us in race, they divide us in religion, in political parties, because it's easy to conquer, it's easy to control when we all fucking hate each other.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's levels to it. It's so many levels to it. They add so many layers of division to where, like you said, we're worried about religion, race, worried about sexuality, we're worried about, you know, classism, all these different things that they put on top of us. They're like, there's no way they're getting to this level to even come mess with us. So they have all this. It's like a fucking Mortal Kombat like list where you have all these fighters where you're going up the list and you finally beat the big boss, but you have all these fighters to go. That's what it is.
Yeah. We're
So
stuck.
they just
We're
put
just
all this
stuck
stuff
at the
on
bottom
top
of the list.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I put out that, because I just wanted to bring awareness to it, because it is an agenda, and it's not just, you can't just take it for what it is. It's deeper than what you're seeing. So yeah, it's crazy, man. But yeah, just moving on. Hold on 1 second. Make sure you click your laptop. Okay. We'll move on to the next video.
Bro, what? So in part 1, I showed you guys how the NFL could be rigged. So if you look at the logos from the past Super Bowls, it actually has the colors of the teams who made it. So could it be that the Ravens and the 49ers are going to the Super Bowl this year, and they're both looking good? Which doesn't surprise me, because did you guys know that the NFL is recognized as a sports entertainment company, which they can rig games and do it legally? Also, a lot of people don't know that refs aren't actually employees of the NFL. They're actually part-time employees and have reviews after the seasons if they want to bring them back or not. So this gives the NFL a nice cushy, plausible deniability. And speaking of sports entertainment, the WWE has officially merged with the UFC. So that kind of leaves me wondering about the UFC and the outcomes. Like I said before, you guys, sports are a distraction. Why are stadiums modeled after classic Roman Colosseums? It's just a bread and circus. And you always got to follow the money, you guys. Here's all the states that's in on sports betting right now in the US. That's most of the country. But what do you guys think about all this? Comment below. Let me know.
The Super Bowl designs, so they're all made before the Super Bowl?
Correct.
That's wild. No
Isn't that
way.
fucking crazy? So like, if you look at the past Super Bowl logos,
No way, dude.
they have the colors of the team that's actually going to make it. So if you look at the latest one,
Yeah.
the Ravens and the 49ers, right? So like, they're in different divisions. So if you think about it, those two possibly could be it. Some people were saying it could be like the Kansas City Chiefs or whatnot, but I don't know. I think looking at their record right now, the Ravens are looking really good and the 49ers are looking really good. So that's the thing. So what's your thoughts on that? Do you think, for one, are sports rigged?
Okay, so ready? Yeah, I'm glad you brought this up. So I was a diehard Eagles fan from Philly. I was a diehard Eagles fan for a long time. All right. Would get so emotional over football. Yeah, just screaming, and
Right.
when they made a bad play or when they won the Super Bowl, man, I was out in the streets of Philly, that was a cool experience. I'm not gonna lie, like it was just nuts there. But yeah, like last year I gave up football. I gave up sports. I woke up. I was asleep with sports, man. I was asleep with sports. Because it was just entertaining, and I don't really watch it a lot, right? So I haven't actually watched a regular season game in years, but I'd always just like watch the playoffs if the Eagles were in the playoffs or the Super Bowl, right? So last year with Kansas City, Philly, I was actually home in Philly for that. I came home for 2 weeks back in February, and so I was sitting there with my parents watching it at their place, and yeah, the last play of the game was just so like shit for like a Super Bowl play. Like it was just like a turnover on downs. Like they didn't even like go for anything. And my brain did like a 360 click when that happened. And I was like, there's no fucking way. I was like, there's no way that is how the entire thing just ended off that. Like it was like the worst shitty final play of the game ever.
Yeah.
And if you remember too from the season before, Bengals Rams, it was like the same thing. It was like this total shit play by Joe.
Yeah.
Last time, which by the way, I bet $5,000 on that game for for Joe to be the MVP. And if he would have made that touchdown, I would have won like 20 grand or whatever it was. And it was like I lost 5 G's off that one play. And so then it happened again the next season, same shit, like a total measly, wimpy last, just like wrote it out, and that was it. And I was like, hold on, no, hold on. 2 years in a row this happens. This is bullshit. I felt it. I truly felt like I was like, no, dude, I can feel the scam. I can feel the fake. I can feel it. And that's it. I'm like, I'm totally done with sports.
You're
now.
out of it. Yeah.
And you know,
and that's the thing. Like, I think this is my theory. I think that sports in NBA, NFL, I think that the players are really playing. I think most of them. Yeah. I think most of them are, you know, they're playing, you know, their hearts out.
No,
Some
for
of
sure.
them are following their script for sure. Certain players I feel like are following their script, and you got to think the referees control the game. So when it comes to referees, they're all in.
Well, look at all the bad plays and like big controversial calls that have been made over sports history, right? Through the entire time. You know, I mean, there's just so many that you can go back on and be like, how is that even, you know, how is it not overturned? How is it not? Yeah. Right. So it's like
it would be like some bullshit call that like you said, sways the whole game, and you're like, it changes the whole momentum. And it's like, wait a minute, how did that even happen? And it makes you, like you said, it makes you start thinking. You're like, no, there's no way.
Also, too, like even for a long time in sports, this one thing never made sense to me is that even when I was a kid, like watching sports, whenever there was a blatantly obvious miscall that was got on camera, and the commentators would say, "Wow, I don't understand that call. That's crazy." In my mind, I was always like, well, if we're all sitting here watching it, talking about it, how come they're not seeing it? Yeah. And it never fully triggered, because I was just like, well, you know, that's sports, right? But it's like, no, bullshit.
It's more than that. It's more than that, because it's like, you got to think, like, for one, they're keeping everybody distracted. Two, they're making a shit ton of money, and it's emotional control, because like you said, like you were so emotionally invested.
Oh, dude, I'd be depressed after Eagles games.
Exactly.
Man.
And that's what it is. It's the bread and circus.
They want those diehard loyal fans attaching their entire life dependence on the outcome of a fucking sports game. And then when is football? Football's on Sunday. So so if your team loses on Sunday, your whole week is fucked, because you go into work on Monday depressed as shit about your team losing, right? You know,
that's true.
So 50% of the teams in every league are going to lose every day, or whenever the sport event happens, right? 50% win, 50% lose. So now 50% of the population who's obsessed with this team fucking depressed, you know, going Sunday night football. You know, Sunday football, your team loses, you're fucking pissed off, you're angry, you're sad, you know, and then you start the week off like that.
It's crazy. And just thinking about that, like it's crazy, because it's layered, right? So like you have, you know, the referees in on it, because like I said in the video, these guys aren't even employees of the NFL. Like they're like, some of those guys are like lawyers, doctors, teachers. Like, they don't do that full time. Football is only 6 months out of the year. So you got to think, like, they got to make an income somewhere else. So these guys are like 1099 guys. So they're not even actual legit employees. So if some weird shit does go down, they have plausible deniability. Like, oh, you know what? This guy wasn't on, you know, he's not part of the NFL. So we'll just get rid of him and keep on, you know, business as usual.
Yeah.
So
it's just a state. You know,
it is.
Look at what happened with what's his name on the Bills, the cardiac arrest guy or whatever. What's his name?
Yeah. That was crazy.
You know,
is it Hamilton?
Yeah, something Hamilton. Yeah, had the heart attack or whatever, and and then comes back the next day or the next week or whatever, face mask, not showing his face, and is like escorted in and out with like full security. And then at a couple weeks later, he comes with the jacket on that has the crucified mockery of Jesus on his jacket. Like, it's just so weird, man. Like there's just
That is bizarre. That's true.
Did you see
Yeah,
that? Did you see
I
that?
did. I
Yeah,
remember
yeah,
that actually.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's bizarre, bro. Like, I don't know. He might be a clone.
Yeah, well, that's what they were all saying. That's what they're all saying.
He might be a clone.
Yeah.
And people who like don't think cloning is real, it's like cloning has been around for like 30 plus years.
Oh, there's videos of certain people speaking, like, you know, the rapper Kid Boo. You ever seen that video of him talking?
Saying he's
like
a clone.
He's like literally cloned. He's like, yeah, this is the second generation me. Clone X or Clone Ace or whatever the company is. He's like, yeah, they did my second generation. So they transferred all my thoughts over from the first generation to this one. So this is me now as my second generation self. He's like just spewing out all this in an interview.
Oh, I think it's Clonaid. I think it's called Clonaid.
Clonaid. There it is.
Clonaid. Right.
Yeah, it's like a company, real registered company that you can look up
It
and
is.
see. Yeah. Like why? Why is this shit not like a public thing? You know, like why does it only get leaked in like TikTok videos or whatever?
Right. It's not mainstream. Like when he said that and he said Clonaid, I was like, wait a minute, that's a real fucking company. Yeah. So, you know, if you do your research on Clonaid, then it's like, oh, they've done, you know, they clone sheep, they clone other animals, all these other. So, you know, they're like legit doing it. So for him to say that, that's like a deep cut. Like he didn't pull that from like a front page.
He's totally serious when he was talking about it. It's like very, very serious and very detailed too.
Right.
You know?
It's crazy. Yeah. Like when I saw that, I was like, yeah, that he might be onto something because that's a legit company. So it's crazy, man. Like
so it happened with Kanye too, right? Like after Kanye disappeared and came back, and they were talking about his height, and his girlfriend was his new girlfriend, whatever her name was, is like 5'9", registered as 5'9". Kanye's 5'8". But he's barefoot walking around outside and taller than her, which means he's got to be at least 5'11", 6 foot in that picture that they got when he had the black shirt on. And he looked like
I've seen that.
Football shoulder pads under his thing, and he's walking around barefoot. His face is wider, his jaw's wider, and he's like taller than his 5'9" girlfriend. That's not him. It's just not. I mean, it doesn't even look like it. His whole face structure like changed, you know?
Yeah. And if you, well, for one, I've actually met him in person, so I've seen him.
Oh, have you?
I have. I went to a Sunday service one time when he was doing the Sunday service thing. So I met him, and I'm 5'9", and we were the same height basically. So like when I seen him, I was like, oh, okay, he's actually 5'9". But like seeing those pictures now, it's like, wait, how is he even remotely?
He just grew like 3 inches overnight.
Yeah, he's a grown boy. He's still eating. Like, what the fuck? No, it's that's wild, man. And like just seeing that stuff, and then like comparing notes with like how they're doing like the Clonaid and all that other stuff. It's like, what if that is a 5th version of him or a 6th version of him? That's not out of the question.
You know, what's his name? The rapper, the white guy, the dreads, raps about conspiracy. Fuck, McDonald, Tom McDonald, is that it?
Yeah, Tom McDonald. Yeah,
Tom McDonald. Yeah, he's got the song, cloned rappers, cloned rappers, something like that. And it just
he has a song about it.
Oh, he's got a song about everything, man.
I gotta check him out.
Yeah, you gotta check his stuff out, bro. It's wild.
I gotta see his stuff. Yeah, so he's actually rapping about that.
He blows everything up, like everything, and it's like spot on. Yeah. Listen to Clone. That's a good.
I gotta check him out for sure. That's crazy. I didn't know he was doing stuff like that. I've heard about him. I've seen him.
He does, bro. It's all his music is conspiracy music, and he raps and makes it into songs. So it's not like
for real
blatantly saying it. That's all his shit. Yeah, about COVID, about clone rappers, about elites, about the screens, everything. Like all his songs relate to all the shit. Wars, all of it. Race, religion.
That's crazy.
Wow.
I gotta check him out for sure.
Yeah, do it.
So this last video, I actually just posted this. I want to show you.
So today is JFK's 60th anniversary of his assassination, but I got a wild theory, so let's go down the rabbit hole. So we all know that he wasn't the first president assassinated. Lincoln was also assassinated, and there's some crazy parallels, but my theory is, what if they're the same person? First, both their last names have 7 letters, Kennedy and Lincoln. Second, they were both elected in 1860 and 1960, both years being 60. Oh, but that's where it only begins. So both their assassinators, John Wilkes Booth and Lee Harvey Oswald, were both 3 names composing of 15 letters. Both were shot in the head, and also both died on a Friday. Not only that, but JFK, when he got shot, he was riding in a Lincoln Continental. What are the chances? Not to mention that Kennedy had a secretary named Lincoln, and his secretary was named Kennedy, and both of them warned them not to go to their prospective events. And both presidents that succeeded them both had the last name Johnson. So these 2 presidents basically lived the same life. So do you guys think that Lincoln was reincarnated into Kennedy? There's so much more to this story, you guys. It's crazy. So comment below. Let me know if you want a part 2.
What do you think about that? Like, there's a lot more like parallels. There's only like a few that I put in the video.
I saw the screenshot. I saw all the both that you had in the video. Yeah.
There's
so
like 30 of them.
Right.
Like, so many different things. And it's like, how many coincidences do we have to hit before we correlate it towards it's something else?
Yeah, yeah. Well, history always repeats itself, as we know. So there's always a chance. I mean, that's a tough one because it's like it's all just like similarities. But I mean, like, yeah, for me, I just believe that like there's something behind everything. That's just the way I operate now.
Of course.
So I heard you say question everything in the beginning of the podcast.
Of
I actually made my own t-shirts that say question everything, where the Q is a brain and it says question everything. Yeah. I have it upstairs.
Nice.
I should have worn it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm all about question everything, and when I say everything, I really mean like everything. And that's the way my brain works now, is like anytime I hear about something or I see something that is any bit relevant to the news, the world, or what's going on, or just, anything, man. Even like watching, like my wife puts on the TV for my kid, which I hate, but like, I got to pick my battles. And especially when he's like just screaming and terrorizing the house. I have like work to do. I'm just like, all right, you know what? Fuck it. Like I'll fix his brain later. But, but like not too much. And I do limit it, but every once in a while, if she puts it on, it's like, all right, whatever. But even when I'm watching the shows now, I'm paying attention because there's shit in there, man. There's shit.
There is.
Oh, bro. Miss Rachel, Miss Rachel, like the most popular toddler teacher on YouTube, Miss Rachel.
Okay.
You ever heard of that?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so she's like huge, man. She's like, that's like what all the kids watch, Miss Rachel. She like teaches babies and infants and toddlers, letters and sign language or whatever. Super popular, mega viral person on YouTube. It's like her and some of her friends, and like one of her friends is like a fucking, I don't know, like dyke lesbian, fucking transgender or some shit. Like,
really?
Yeah, on the kids show. And it's like, once again, I'm sure that person's a nice person, which I mean, maybe she is, maybe she, him, whatever they go by, is a nice person. But like, at the same time, this is a kids show. And so you got these kids watching this shit, hundreds of millions, maybe billions of people watching these videos with this person in these videos. And eventually if they keep watching them, they get to a certain point where they subconsciously absorb that, and they see this girl that looks like a guy, and that's going to do something long term.
Yeah.
It's you know what I mean? Like, it's going.
Yeah, it goes right back to that first topic that we're talking about.
It has an effect, man. So it's just, I just really like pay attention to everything. So yeah, I mean, with all these alignments on Lincoln versus Kennedy, dude,
it's not nothing, right?
Gotta be something.
Yeah, it's not nothing. My whole theory was this. My whole theory was, and I can get really deep, and some people were like, okay, you're off you're off somewhere in the distance now. But
Okay.
like, I think not only it's like reincarnation, but I think that there's higher ups. We already know there's higher ups, but what a lot of people, and here's the theory that, of course, there's reptilians, right? So reptilians
Yeah.
are, they're saying that they run the earth and all this other
Believe it.
stuff.
Believe
So
it.
they're saying that Earth is a prison planet, and basically they're harvesting our energy. That's why they have sports and they have reality TV and war and everything else you can think of to emotionally mess with us to harvest energy, right? So the moon, they have a moon base. So when we die, they harvest all of our energy. We die, our soul goes to the moon. Basically, it's the moon was built, which is the theory, which is they're saying that it's not real and it was brought here, it was built somewhere else and was brought to our solar system. So what happened is that they're using that as a base. Our soul, it's like a soul catcher. They have like a cube.
I've heard this before. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a soul catcher. It regenerates and then shoots out back again. So what if, like, Lincoln, he had his time here, his soul got shot out, and then just played the same fate again. So I went that
How do we
deep.
get out of it? How do we escape that?
I don't know. And that's the thing. Like, if that is true, that's like
Antarctica. It's got to be Antarctica.
Could be. It could
Right?
be.
That's the center of the earth, man. We get into there, we get into Avatar, and then we become the blue humans fucking flying around, bro. There's so much, man. There's so much.
And I think that that's the thing. Like, it's not so far fetched, because it's like when you have things like CERN over in Europe, like the Hydrogen Collider, where it's like it's discovering the God particle, and like it can, like, they're saying that it can be like a time portal or like whatever, but these things, it seems very far-fetched and sci-fi until we actually do it. And then it happens and it's like, oh shit, well, things got weird here, and look at 2020 and all this other stuff. You would never think that the whole world would stop. You're like, there's no way that's gonna happen.
Right.
But until it did.
It'll happen.
So what else can really be like, too far-fetched or whatnot? So it's like, okay, so if that is like the truth, then it's like, okay, well, how do we even navigate all this?
Yeah.
What if they're keeping us so far down to where there's keeping us, divided and distracted and everything else? It's like, if we knew the actual truth, then it's like you guys wouldn't even be able to fathom it, or even like it's so far gone. It's like you would.
Right.
Head would
That's
explode.
the ultimate question, man. It's like, why are we here? Why are we here? And how are we here? And what's going on? Because we don't know. We don't know at all. Like, and there's so much more, So
yeah,
I think one of the biggest things, and I say this a lot. I've said this a lot. I've said this to a lot of people. I've said this on some podcasts before too. Is like, one of the biggest superpowers that you can have in this world is an open mind. Like, do not be closed-minded. Do not cancel things out, and it, like, formulate a thought process of just always being open to everything, so that it just you're automatic, because subconsciously you'll shut a lot of shit down without even thinking about it. Most people will. So I've trained my brain to just allow everything in, and then have the confidence that I have my own filtration system that I can filter out what I think is no longer necessary. But like for me, I've got an open mind, literally open. I allow all information to come in. I never block anything out, unless it's completely absurd, like a woman lying as a man, right?
Right.
Sorry, girl, but you can still
and no, I get that, and that's the thing. Like, you got to be open-minded to where, like you said, you filter things out, you accept or reject certain things, and when you're looking at certain things objectively and you're looking at it with, just with critical thinking, it's like, well, this doesn't make sense, and I can't accept this because somebody else just said it, and I just take it for a fact. So why not question it?
Right. Well, has it been 100% proven? Right. And if it hasn't been, stay open to it. Right. But like, so someone may say, okay, well, you're talking about lizards on the moon. So why can't a man be a woman? Well, because it's proven. Show me a man that can pee a fucking baby out of his dick hole, and I'll shut up. But it's never gonna happen, you fucking dumbass. So it's like that conversation is done. You know what I mean? Like that's illogical. That's illogical emotional thinking. And your any validity or weight that you have in that conversation is squashed once you try to convince someone that a very factual piece of information is no longer factual. No. You're done. You're out. You're out of the combo because your opinion matters, because it's an opinion. It's not, it's just an opinion, and it's blatantly wrong. Right. But if something hasn't been 100% proven, not 90% proven, sorry, my son's crying, not 90% proven, not 95, but 100% proven. If it's not been there, then you have to just like stay open to it until you've reached the outcome of what it is or what it isn't, you know?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you got to stay open to it unless it's been proven. I love that. But I know you got to go. I know your son's crying, man. So like, I just want to wrap this up and just say thank you for joining us. It's been fun. It's definitely, we got to do this again, man, for sure. Like,
you know,
I love just
out, man. Yeah. It's good to like talk about this stuff, you know, because it's like it's very and it's good that you're as open as I am too about all this stuff. You know, because you talk about a lizard based on the moon, people are like, all right, you're fucking crazy. But it's like, am I? Like, because it could be
until it's proven or not proven, we don't know what's going on. So like you have to be open to everything. Like now we're talking about artificial intelligence. Like we're talking about computers being human. And this is like, you would think that it's sci-fi, like Terminator and all these other old movies, but now it's here.
And they're convincing us that it's like, it's real, you know? And
so it's like,
you got guys like purchasing sex robots now and like just sick people, man, you know?
It's like, it's crazy until it's done, you know? So we don't know. So that's why I do this, and I like thought-provoking stuff. So but no, we definitely got to do this again, man. For everybody out there, let them know where they can find you, all your socials and everything else.
At Pauly Long. That's just my first and last name, PAULYLONG, on all platforms. Look me up, and I'll keep pumping out content.
Yeah, he's killing it on TikTok, you guys. He's killing it on all social platforms. So like, I enjoy his content. So definitely go check him out for sure. But I appreciate you. And no, we'll definitely do this again, man, for sure.
Sure, brother. Thanks, man.
So you guys, thank you for joining us. Follow us at Maverick Approach on all socials, and make sure you guys keep questioning everything.